Hey, welcome everybody to TMI Live with the Moondog, and hopefully I'm coming in clearly today. Didn't get a chance to double check the sound, but I guess I'll go do that right now since I have I have a captive audience here. Looks like I'm coming in at least as far as the levels on the bars sounds okay, but let me know. Tim Mooney says 5 by 5. So does Portia Spitzer. So that's a good indication right there. All right. So without further ado, let's get started because this is um, going to be a chock-a-block full of information TMI today. So before we get started, I just wanted to plug our ongoing sponsor, which is Aura, which is a online cybersecurity company that I use. And here is a link to try them out for free. Aura.com/Moondog. That's my link. Try them out. You get 14 free days. And with that free trial, you get an opportunity to use all of their services, which includes, let's see, there we go. There's the link again, which includes a VPN, which is a virtual private network, which keeps you secure when you're using public Wi-Fi because that creates an encrypted connection between you and the public Wi-Fi. Also, you get credit monitoring, spam blockers, and you also get data broker removal services, which allows you to get off of data broker lists. So these are companies that buy and sell our personal private information like our emails, our phone numbers, our names, or even our addresses. And marketing companies and political organizations buy and sell this information, buy it from data brokers. Data brokers sell it. It's perfectly legal, even though it seems kind of shady, because it is. But anyway, it is legal because a lot of this information is public because, well, whenever we fill out forms with the city government, these are like public information. Unfortunately, that's the sort of flip side of it. But you can get yourself taken off of these private companies which sell our information. You can do that individually, but there are hundreds of them. By using Aura, you can just click a button, set yourself up to get to have them act as your representative to formally ask these companies to get your information off of their servers, delete it, and all this, you could try it out for free for 14 days. Try my link, aura.com/moondog, and let me know how it works for you. And I wanted to get to this at the end here. Oh, I don't know why it just blanked out there for a second. I just wanted to highlight, yes, to pick a rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Just if you would say everyone, just a brief moment of silence for Charlie Kirk and his family. It I got to say this is history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, and I'm just struck by how much the times today remind me of the era before I was born, or right about the time, the summer of love, when I was born, where there were political assassinations and just assassinations of thinkers like Malcolm X, like Martin Luther King Jr. For their beliefs, and it's just terrible that people just don't have the tolerance to, and it's just we shouldn't be living in this kind of world like that where this is allowed to happen, and if this is considered normal or beneficial for any side or group to condone these kinds of actions. I mean, it's bad enough that we have crime, we have violent crime that is petty and is influenced by jealousies and gang violence and by greed. But to kill somebody because of their political or philosophical beliefs, that just shouldn't be. I mean, we live in a civilized. We claim to live in a civilized world, but if you do, then we should be well past that. But I try not to get too political on this show because it's really more of a show about information and the things that are going on in my production world. But yeah, that is the assassination of Charlie Kirk today is big news. I just got it on my feed, so I don't know if for those of you who didn't know, Charlie Kirk is a conservative pundit, writer, thinker, a philosopher. I believe I don't know if he actually held. I actually don't know much about him, in terms of his bio. From my understanding, he's a conservative. He's was part of the Tea Party movement, but I don't know much else about him. I see I've seen videos of debates with Charlie Kirk at various places, the thumbnails or whatever. I never really watch any of those sort of debate gotcha videos. They've got I've watched a number of them in the past with Ben Shapiro and or whoever, and it's fine. That those thumbnails saying, oh, they own them or they destroy whoever in political argument or what have you. But it gets kind of repetitive and tedious, so I haven't watched much. But I will make it a point to find out a bit more about Charlie Kirk. But I didn't have time to get into that before the start of the show. And I'll just highlight a couple of folks here who, he really engaged younger people. Controversial media folks make as many enemies as they do followers. So, getting moving on. Let me get to the early bird clue today, and that is on a whole other topic. This is the logo of the early bird brand, the brand that we're talking about today, and this is the early bird clue. So if you happen to know, this is a media streaming service, and if you know who this is, put in hashtag the tic-tac-toe symbol and put in their name into the comment section. Some of you have already done so. Just be sure to put that hashtag on there so you could be so that we can record your entry. And today's prize is going to be let's see if did I remember to bring a sample of that? Anyway, it is going to be, I'll pull one out in a second, but it's going to be a Stars and Stripes. It's going to be a good old Stars and Stripes flag morale patch from Evic, and you'll also be getting a Moondog decal sticker as the prize today. So I'm going to have 3 winners. You're going to get a Stars and Stripes morale patch, Velcro backed, and a Moondog decal. So how's that? I'll pull that off in a minute when we get to watch some of the videos. But let's move on to those videos. The new videos this week on my channel. This one I talked about last week, and I was saying like, oh, I was really shocked and surprised and delighted that this old video of mine that I posted a regular video as well as the short, but the short just blew up on my channel for whatever reason. It's been there for over 2 years, almost 3 years now that I posted this video. But for some reason, last month, a bunch of people started watching this video, and at the time last week, I had almost 400,000 views, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. It's by far the most popular shorts video I've had. This week, over 1 million views. I can't believe it. That is just, it's shocking. It's amazing. I am very grateful to everybody who's a new subscriber. I got something like over 2,000 new subscribers because of that shorts video. And if you're watching me, if you've never seen my live show, welcome to the TMI, Too Much Information Live with Moondog. Usually I don't go into this longer preamble before the show, but in the show we talk about some of the videos I've posted this week. I answer some of your questions, and we get into just sort of random topics, sometimes with a guest, sometimes just whatever strikes my fancy this week or what I ever get into. So, and we get to interact on the side chat, as you see here. Let's see who's on the side chat today. TJ Fishing was the first one to post, so welcome TJ. Good day. We have Tim Mooney. We have Porsche Speedster. We got Pick. And I think that's everybody who's posted so far. I mean, there could be folks out there who are just watching and don't want to post on the side chat. But if you are there, feel free to... oh, and Vadim. There we are. Vadim's here. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And getting back to the videos so I'm just flabbergasted that over 1 million people have watched this video. That's by far the most watched video I've ever had on my channel. The first one that I know of that's gone over 1 million views. So yeah, I'm kind of I'm floored by this. And I thank everybody who also posted a comment. Not all the comments were necessarily positive about me or about the product or about my coverage of it. But hey, I guess as they say, any publicity is good publicity, I guess. Anyway, and let's see here. Tim Mooney says, yeah, the UPS waived the postage due on it. Was that on the last prize that was sent? Tim, can you let's see here. Oh, okay. So Tim says, um, oh, so you okay? So I mailed a prize last week, which was one of these Mario knives that I got over at the cafe there at the Toadstool Cafe. I did mail this. I thought it wouldn't be damaged, but I guess it was. Was it? Did it crack? You got to let me know, Pick, if or Tim, if it did. Yeah, let me know if it got cracked in the shipping or whatnot. Hopefully, just the envelope got damaged. But yeah, um, I'll try to put in more packing if that got damaged. Portia Speaker says hasn't received his yet. Oh, mine was in a plastic bag with a sorry note. I guess yeah, the sorting machine did probably didn't like the non-flexible nature of that. So I think I have to put like right on the outside that it is rigid or something, so that they hand sort it next time. So next time I still have a couple of those. I think I have 3 more left, so I will make a note of that for next time, that I will have to put non-flexible, do not bend, hand sort, do not bend, or something like that in the mailbox. Okay, so moving on, we have the newest video that I posted this week on my Moondog 2A channel is a ammo test that I did with my Ruger Precision Rimfire 22 rimfire rifle, and I tested TAC-22 and CCI mini mags. And if you saw in a previous video, I was testing or using one of those, both of those ammos in 2 separate range videos where I was shooting at a challenge target at 100 yards. Well, in this case, I was testing to see which one shot better in my Ruger Precision Rimfire rifle, and that's gotten quite a number of views. I think it's almost 2,000 views so far. So I'm happy that people are interested in that. And getting back to the cracked, he says mine was cracked a little, but I'm good with it. Just a little bit of a crack. That has to do with a knife. And Portia Speech says, "Do not bend." Now I got to ask you folks, when I pressed on Pick's thumbnail, it got rid of all of the video on screen, and I'm just seeing a blue screen right now. But when I pick Portia Speedster, I can see myself and I can see the video. So I'm not sure. It's some new thing that StreamYard's doing when I highlight some folks' comments. Like in this case, Tim says, if it was marked fragile, they would assume it was fragile. Fragile, yes. And Pick says, Tim, there we go. I don't know why it gets rid of all the images on screen for some folks when I highlight them, but not others. There we go. Again, I can't see anything on my screen. Can you guys? That's weird. There we go. Weird. The interface is the way it's displaying stuff now on StreamYard is puzzling. Okay, so you guys see the images, but I'm not able to see the images. That's kind of strange. Okay. Well, as long as you're seeing something, all right, we'll move on. On my Moondog Reviews channel, I posted a review, or at least a booth video, of my visit to the 511 Tactical booth earlier this year at SHOT Show, where they debuted a collaboration with Sig Sauer. They created some custom backpack and range gear for Sig with SIG branded stuff. So SIG's selling the stuff on their website as well as 511. But 511 designed and created this range gear, these backpacks that have compartments and padding. So really custom made, or at least original designed specifically for the needs of shooters, and bringing your various pistols and ammo out. So it's durable enough for that, but also compartmentalized so you can place different items and modular. So it's really kind of cool. Let me share the video of that on stage right now.
Super excited to share with you 511's new collaboration with Sig Sauer.
And that is a nice looking design on that backpack.
Yeah. There's a removable board in here, so you can keep certain items up top, and then a side entry so you can access other items on the bottom. So you don't just have to have one big dump in your backpack.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, there's also fiberglass rods in this backpack to help keep its shape. So if you set it down at the range, it's not going to fall over.
Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So the backpack will come in at $175. The bigger range bag is $150, and then the Trainer Pro will come in at $110. And these are available online now at 511tactical.com and in select retail stores.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. So not cheap bags, by the way, but if it's 511 that they are built right. The seams are well built, so these things aren't going to be coming apart. Not like those discount specials you're going to get at Target or Wally World or Temu. They are built right and built rugged enough to take onto ranges. All right, now on my Moondog Go channel, I've posted one of the last videos from my exploration of Universal Studios Hollywood's Super Nintendo World. And this is kind of a hidden game, interactive game that they have. There's a couple of different interactive games throughout the park. They're the mini park within the larger Universal Studios park. But this one is particularly nondescript. It's not easy to find because it's not marked anywhere. But this gives you an idea here. The entrance just looks like a hallway that you would go to if you were to find the bathroom or something. And it is actually near the exit of another attraction. So as you're exiting, if you look straight across from Bowser Jr.'s Shadow Challenge, as you exit, there's a hallway, or at least a doorway, that goes to stairs, which again are fairly nondescript. There's no markings about where this passageway leads, or where the hallway or the stairs lead. But when you get to the top of the stairs, well, you'll see. Here's what you see. Okay. So yeah, there's stairs, and unless there was a line there, you wouldn't think, okay, there's something here, because there's no signage saying, come check it out. But you walk up the stairs to the balcony, or the second floor level, which is, you'll be able to overlook the park from this point of view. But even up here, nothing significant, but if you look down the hall, it's brightly lit. There's the interactive display screen. And you can play a minigame.
Below you. Below you.
All right. So you can win coins and badges in this area. That's the new Glacier Challenge. And this is unique to Universal Studios Hollywood. They don't have this over in Orlando or in Tokyo. I think it's in Tokyo where the original one is. Tim, and this is getting back to the comment about the 511 bags. Tim says his girlfriend is a seamstress. She made a rifle drag bag for him, which also functions as a shooting mat. That's great, and that's a lost skill, that being able to sew. I'm probably one of the last generations that went to public high school that actually took home ec and learned to sew. So, which is a perfect segue later on to talk about one of my favorite shows we're going to talk about later, about sewing. So it's a good reference here. And hey, we have a new guest, or at least a new commenter on today's show. We got Vanessa Kitty. Hi, Vanessa. Thanks for joining us. And moving on to a video that I will be posting up later this week, I wanted to get your input and thoughts on a good headline for that video. So let me just bring to the stage here. This is going to be a new video on a Vector Optics MPVO at 2-12 by 44. And like the rest of Vector's Continental line, this is one of the only Chinese-made scopes that I'm aware of, is the Vector Continentals that use German shot glass. There is a Taiwanese, so I mean, different China. There is a UTG Leapers. Their Integrex line uses German shot glass, and that is made in Taiwan, or I believe. So that is the only other Asian brand of scope that may use German shot glass. It might be others, I don't know. But so this is the only mainline Chinese scope that I'm aware of that uses German shot glass, which is pretty high quality ED, extra low dispersion glass. And while not the cheapest scope out there, it is certainly a fraction of the price of a European made shot glass scope, and a pretty nice scope overall. But I won't give you too many spoilers for the video that's going to be coming out this week. So any thoughts on a good headline? So currently, one of the headlines I'm going with is German glass China price. So I'd like to, I'll put it up here for anybody's thoughts on what would make a good headline for this thumbnail. And Pick just wanted to bring up a comment here. Pick says, Vector makes awesome scopes. Yeah, that they do. That they do. TJ says, best of both worlds. That could work as a headline. Let me screenshot that. And Pick says he has a Taurus, super impressed. And apparently, I think this is what Pick is saying, is that Vector makes Bushnell's, some of Bushnell's scopes. And Poliner promotes Integris Optics in his video. I've had a chance to see the prototypes of the Integrex. I've yet to get my hands on one, so it's a little bit of a disappointment. They were. I got a chance to see the early prototypes of them 2 years ago, and I've been waiting to get my hands on some of them. I got a bug, UTG and Integrex, and David and some of the other folks over, the CEO of UTG, to send me something so I could review it. I would love to review. I've always been a fan of their scopes in terms of their regular UTG scopes. I've bought in the past well-made budget scopes. But this is their Integrex is their foray into higher end scopes. And Portia Speecher says, holy grail combination. All right. Any other thoughts? If you have any, please post them on the side chat as what you think might be a good thumbnail headline for this scope video that's going to be coming up this weekend for the Continental. Actually, I'm going to have to fix that because I misspelled Continental. So there's a good reason why I need to redo or need help with my thumbnails, because I typoed that. But I'll make a point to fix that before it goes live, thankfully. Hey, welcome to the side chat, living in Southwestern Virginia. All right, so if you have any other thoughts, post them in the side chat or post them into the comments for watching this video later on when it's not live. But let's move on. So here's the next clue for the Stars and Stripes morale patch and the Moondog decal. The name of this brand. Well, here's a clue to the brand. This brand is named after a type of sushi. And this U.S. streaming service was founded in 2006 as a pirate media site because they posted pirated versions of anime, TV shows, and films using unauthorized fan-made subtitles. So this big U.S. streaming site was started as a pirate content site, but despite that, they've gone legit. So if you know who this brand is, put in hashtag the name of the brand of the side chat, and you'll be automatically entered into the contest to win a Moondog decal and a U.S. flag patch. And the U.S. flag patch is courtesy of my friends over at evic.com, who are having their airsoft convention, big airsoft con next month. So if you happen to be in Southern California, go check it out. It's the biggest free airsoft shopping event and just a sort of fun event. They have guests. I got to meet Arlie Ermy there the first year that they had it 10 years ago, and they give away so much free stuff. It's amazing. And if I have the time, I'll try to head down there. But October is oftentimes a really busy time of year for me because the last couple of years it's also been my son's middle school harvest festival, fall festival. So as a member of the parents' dad's organization as well as the Knights of Columbus, I have to make a showing there because it's part of the deal of being at the school. All right, down the rabbit hole. Let's talk about the topic that I made the thumbnail for today's episode, and we're going to be talking about rom-coms. And rom-com is a portmanteau. It means romantic comedy or comedies, and they're some of the most popular genres in film and television, and they are movies and TV shows and that have a light comedic tone and a plot that focuses on the romantic relationship of the protagonist or the ensemble, as the case may be. But rom-coms, they are a staple. They've been around for well before modern days, before the term was coined. They go back to the days of early film, to silent films, even to even before film, to theater and plays. For example, I would consider Shakespeare's *Midsummer Night's Dream* a rom-com essentially because it revolves around it's a fantasy, but it revolves around the jealousies of the King of the Fairies and the Queen of the Fairies, and there's a lot of matching up of various characters and mismatching of various characters. And you could consider that a rom-com along with Taming of the Shrew and a lot of his other plays, and some of the Greek plays from before then, where comedies. It's mashing up two very popular things, romance and comedy. Some of my favorite films ever are rom-coms. For example, this one is Ball of Fire, which I think came out in 1940. Barbara Stanwyck and Gary Cooper there. Gary Cooper plays I think he's a linguist. He heads a group of scholars who are creating a dictionary, and they realized she plays a girlfriend of a gangster, and she is and she's a witness to a murder, I believe, if I'm remembering the plot correctly, and she hides out at this university where Gary Cooper is the youngest of these linguists, scholars who are working on this dictionary, and she hides out there because they realize that they need to include modern slang in their dictionary, and so he recruits a bunch of different folks in modern times. Of course, modern times back then was 1940s, a cross section of just regular folks to get these new slang words, and she's one of the folks that they recruit. And the comedy and romance ensues as she disturbs his life as this very nerdy scholar. He falls in love with her. It's a great film. They actually also redid this film like 10 years later, starring oh, I'm blanking on his name now, but they redid this film as a musical, and I think it was called "Birth of a Song," and and that it was basically the same plot except that he was a musicologist, and instead of a linguist, and it included a bunch of luminaries in jazz and popular music and at the time, like I think might even include Glenn Miller and Tommy Dorsey and Louis Armstrong in the film. Anyway, it's really cool. One of my favorite films. Ball of Fire. Go see it. Go rent it. Go get it from the library. One of my other great films that I loved is it's not His Girl Friday. Why am I blanking on? No, I'm screwing this up here. It's supposed to be one of my favorite films. I've totally forgotten. It is. Oh, why am I blanking here? You know, help me out here in the side chat. But it is Katharine Hepburn and Archibald Leach. But that's not his stage name is. Oh gosh. Now my brain's not working. But anyway, a great movie, screwball comedy. You just definitely see this. Let's see, what was that? Bringing Up Baby, Cary Grant. Yes, so great film, wonderful classic film. Cary Grant. Thank you, Portia Speacer. And of course, another classic. We've got Marilyn Monroe, and it's a wonderful rom-com because it also includes cross-dressing, again having to do with mobsters. Some Like It Hot, great film. And speaking of Cary Grant, we got a wonderful impersonation of Cary Grant in this film. If you haven't seen it, you definitely go see that. But again, these are classic rom-coms and very popular back in the day. But I grew up in the 70s, and rom-coms, well, they were popular on TV. Three's Company, essentially as a situation comedy. I mean, there's a lot of crossover between rom-com and situation comedy, but the basis of the show, the tension in the show, is that you got this horn dog guy who needs to find an apartment, but ends up being a roommate to two hot girls. But he has to pretend he's gay because the landlord and his wife, pretend not to say that they don't want to have, shenanigans going on in their apartment that they're renting out. So he has to pretend he's gay. But he's still after them because it's a rom-com. It's a situation comedy rom-com. There's the romance is really happening in every episode. He never really gets with either of the girls, but that's part of the ongoing tension. Tim Mooney likes to point out that Three's Company is actually derived from the UK series Man About the House. That's a good point. I did not know that. There are a lot of great sitcoms in the 70s that are actually derived from British comedies, including Sanford and Son. If you didn't know that, I love Brit comedies as well from that period, like Are You Being Served, or what am I blanking here? Well, of course, Monty Python's Flying Circus. None of which was rom-coms particularly, but everybody who grew up in the 70s remembers Three's Company and Suzanne Summers. But sort of the more modern take on that for you younger folks who might be watching this would be Friends. And then in this case, an ensemble cast. The show wasn't necessarily a rom-com; it's more of a sitcom. But of course, there were romances going on, relationships going on in the show between the characters. Keeping Up Appearances was another Brit show that Tim likes to point out. Now, the thing about the rom-com shows is that they oftentimes, except for in the case of Friends, that they never that when the characters would get together in the show, when that would often mean the death knell, like in the case of Mork and Mindy, when Mork ended up marrying Mindy. Yeah, they jumped the shark at that point. The show went downhill very quickly. Here's a classic case of what happens when you have the main characters. The whole point, the whole popularity of the show is about the romantic tension between them. But when they do get together, the show fell apart, which was like in this case Moonlighting, which technically was not a rom-com. There were some comedic elements to the show, but it was really kind of a mishmash of a detective show and a little bit of light comedy. But I wouldn't necessarily call it a rom-com, but the big attraction to the show was the tension of the new main characters. Would they, won't they? When they did, it kind of fell apart. Another show that sort of kept the tension going, and again, like I said, as soon as they got together, the show kind of fell apart. One of my favorite shows, in this case from the late 60s, I Dream of Jeannie. It was all about an astronaut who finds a genie who's totally in love with him, but for whatever reason, I always thought it was like the most unbelievable thing about the show wasn't that there was a genie that a guy finds. It's that he's not all over her. She's his genie will do anything for him, and he's not interested in her at all. In fact, a lot of the plots revolve around him being interested in some other girl. But yeah, that was probably the most unrealistic and unbelievable thing about the show, was like who wouldn't be hot for Barbara Eden? Yeah. And Portia Speedster says Barbara Eden is still hot. Yeah, I agree. I think I saw her recently on Bill Maher's show, and yeah, she still looks great. And yeah, definitely one of my childhood boyhood crushes. She was awesome. Who doesn't like a bare midriff? Oh yeah, Tim Mooney says Cheers and Diane it was over when Sam and Diane hooked up. Yeah, that's a problem with rom-coms in general, is that the show ends. I mean, that's the story. It's whether or not they live happily ever after. It's the end. So it's good to have an end to a show. That's the thing about U.S. shows. A lot of them, they won't just end the show. They'll try to keep it going, and that's really the problem, is it just doesn't have the legs to go beyond that. Tim Mooney says Barbara Eden's husband was Michael Ansari, who played the Blue Djinn on an episode. Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, he played the Blue Djinn on a couple of episodes, didn't he? I didn't realize he was married to Michael Ansari. Michael Ansari. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Thank you for mentioning it. And TJ also mentioned Bewitched. Great show. But here's the thing about Bewitched. They were married to begin with, so there was that romantic tension wasn't there. Certainly more of a sitcom, because really the gist of the show wasn't about a romance. I mean, there was a curing, but they were already married. So in a sense, that's one way to get around the whole rom-com thing. It's not make it a rom-com, just to have them already be a couple. I think somebody else made a comment earlier about this. Mad About You, situation comedy, rom-com, but again, a married couple. It's all about how their relationship as a modern couple. So, Pick says, I know what my 3 wishes would be. That would be a good topic question to have for the side chat. If you had 3 wishes, what would they be if you had a genie? Of course, it all depends on what happens after the 3rd wish, because there's always there's some storylines where after the 3rd wish all the other wishes go away or something like that. And there's a great Twilight Zone episode about a genie. Your wishes don't always end up the way that you'd like them to be. Okay, so we're talking about Bewitched and classic TV, right? And here's the thing. One of the more interesting shows of that period of the late 60s was something you don't see often nowadays, and that is the Flintstones. A lot of people don't know this about the Flintstones, was that it was a primetime show. It was one of the most top-rated primetime animated series ever, up until The Simpsons came out. but it was originally a primetime show. I grew up with it, watching it during after school or early morning. It would be on, on rotation on the local television stations. So I grew up watching it as a kids show, but it was originally not intended to be a kids show. It was a family show. It was a primetime show, and as I was mentioning, The Simpsons was one of the first primetime animated shows to come out that reached success in the more modern era. At least after the Flintstones and to some degree the Jetsons, after they were taken off of prime time and relegated into sort of daytime kids shows, there wasn't an adult, or at least a primetime animated show until The Simpsons. But now, since then, it's really created a renaissance of animation. But here's one of the things that came up in the topic, and I promise we'll get back to rom-coms. Animated shows in the U.S., American animated shows, have a lot of, across a number of different genres or topics. They tend to be comedies in general. The Flintstones, situation comedy. The Simpsons, situation comedy. South Park, situation comedy. Very popular genre. But here's the thing. Do you know of any rom-com animated series? I can't think of one. If you can, let me know on the side chat. For U.S. animated shows, it tends to be pretty much comedy or situation comedy. There have been some forays into other genres of animated TV shows, certainly in other, not necessarily primetime, but more like cable with MTV's animated shorts and and animation specific and sci-fi. Yes, those are other genres, a little that aren't specifically comedy, but for the most part, animated shows in the U.S. are just strictly comedies or sitcoms. But here's the rabbit hole that I wanted to get into, is that it's an interesting thing. In Japanese anime, there are rom-coms, which is something you don't see in American or Western animated shows, and I'm wondering why that is. So I wanted to bring up a couple that are my favorites. If you haven't seen them, you can find them on Netflix. If you have Amazon Prime, you can find some of these shows on Amazon Prime, specifically because Amazon Prime partners with Crunchyroll, which is a free / paid streaming service. You can watch stuff for free if you make an account on Crunchyroll, but they paywall certain titles, so you don't get their entire catalog if you use the free account. But this is one of the most popular rom-coms, one of the most popular animes out currently. It's called My Dress Up Darling, and despite the long name and kind of frou-frou, girly kind of sounding name, it's actually a very cute anime and one of my favorites right now. It's a lot of animes revolve around high school, and this is another common. That's a pretty common in a lot of animes as a setting for the characters as well as the show. In this case, two high school students, one of which is the main girl, who's in the center, and she likes to cosplay, and that's her on the right as well as a character that she's dressing up as. But the guy on the left, Gojo, who's our protagonist, shy boy, he secretly he likes to stay to himself because he makes these Hina dolls, which are Japanese traditional little figurine dolls. But he's afraid to be teased because his family makes them. They're very traditional Japanese. So his grandfather. They don't really get into the show why his grandfather is raising him. His parents have passed away. They show a little bit hint of that in the show, but Gojo's parents have passed away. And so his grandfather raises him. His grandfather owns this traditional Hina doll shop in Tokyo. And like the rest of his family, they create these very expensive but traditional Japanese porcelain dolls. And he is afraid of being teased in high school for, playing with dolls, his family makes dolls, and he knows how to sew, and so she discovers that he knows how to sew, and she recruits him to make her costumes for cosplay with him. And it's a really cute show and really well written. It just really, and also really amazingly animated. But also one of the most popular shows, anime shows out currently last year, highly rated if you are into anime. But so I recommend you checking it out. Rom-com called My Dress Up Darling. Another one that is on my list for popular animes is called Mikene, Too Many Losing Heroines. And this is a little more of a deep cut, but also a very popular show based off of a popular novel series. And again, it's about this boy who's kind of a loner. He just wants to get through high school. He thinks high school is kind of dumb and there's too much drama going on, and just is trying to get through it quietly and doesn't want to get involved, doesn't have very many friends. But through a series of accidents, ends up witnessing a little bit of drama with one girl on the left who has the blue hair. She has in a love triangle with her, with a crush that she has, but she, being a bit of a martyr, says that she knows that the other boy is in love with this other girl and encourages him to follow his heart, but she's secretly hoping that he picks her instead, but instead he goes after the other boy. And anyway, she ends up telling her whole story to our protagonist, who actually doesn't want any involved in any of this, but through his involvement with her and her friends, as well as the high school literature club, gets into these sort of kind of rom-com situations. It's really about the girls' rom-com and personal drama with boys that they're into, but he gets sort of pulled into their drama, and it's really cute. It's slice of life, and there's a comedy involved, in comedic moments, but super sweet, and also amazingly animated in terms of just the style, different art styles that they're using. It's a quality of animation that I haven't seen in a regular sort of series TV show. The quality of animation is something I'd expect to see in a full-blown movie theater a film, but they put the money in for this this TV series. So I highly recommend for me, as far as me liking to watch rom-coms in anime. Now, another rom-com that is strictly, for sure, 100% rom-com is this series called Love is War. And again, high school trope, but in this case, it is full-on comedy, because it's about these two high school kids who are in the student council. One's a student council president. He's a poor kid, but really hardworking. He's top of his class because he studies super hard, not that because he's super smart, because he just spends all of his time really studying and super disciplined. And that's how he manages to get to be top scorer in all the tests. So he's like valedictorian. And the vice president, who is this rich girl, and her family is like one of the richest families in Japan, and how they're both trying to get the other person to admit that they have a crush on them, and because they believe that whoever admits first loses in their heads. And they've managed to pull off, for the most part, 2 whole seasons of a show without the main protagonist getting together. At the very end of the second season, he finally does admit to having a crush on her, and they eventually spin this off into like a movie about that. So that's one of the things I like about the show, is that they actually have a story arc, and there's other stories of the other folks at the school and their friends and other members of the student council that is actually pretty darn good. And as a story about growing up and the travails of trying to discovering yourself and the issues you have in high school, really well written, surprisingly well written for just a straight up comedy. So I also highly recommend. It's called Love is War. And for those old school folks who watched anime in the 80s, check out Ranma Half. And this is not technically it's a sitcom more than a rom-com, but the main characters actually are engaged to each other, and it's all about them trying to navigate that and not and proclaiming that they're not interested in the other, but that as the story progresses, they do have feelings for each other, but they won't admit it because they don't want to be forced into a marriage. Now, in this case, what you're seeing here is not the protagonist and the leading lady. It's actually the same guy, because in part of the story is oh, we've got a special guest here. So I want to add to the show. Let me add him to the show here. Sock One.
Hello.
Hey.
Is my mic good? All right?
Yes, your
Okay.
mic is all right, and that's fine if you don't want to show your face. The reason I wanted you to be on the guest here is because this whole thing was inspired by you teasing me that all I watch on TV is rom-coms.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Now I beg to differ, but I embrace that. So this whole episode, this whole show today was sharing my favorite anime rom-coms. But I certainly do appreciate them. Now, do you consider, in this case, this show that we have on the thumbnail right now is
Ranma
yeah,
Half, yeah.
Ranma Half. Now, you could consider this a rom-com because
Technically a rom-com, but it's more into the action-based
yes,
part.
because one of the aspects of both of the male lead and the female lead is that they are martial artists. Both of them, their parents trained them to be martial artists. The main character, Ranma, traveled to China to learn Chinese martial arts, but along the way fell into a magical pond, hot springs, that turned him into a girl if he gets wet. If he gets
I think it's cold water.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if he gets wet, he turns into this cute redhead girl, which you're seeing here.
Yeah.
And that's the panda behind him is actually Ranma's father.
Yeah, his father.
Who fell into when they got into a training match. Ranma fell into the hot spring of the drowned girl, and his father fell into the hot spring of the drowned panda. And so both of them are cursed, so that if they get wet, his father turns into a panda, he turns into a girl. And the girl version of Ranma, who's also on screen right now, let me see if I can bring this up a little larger, is holding a pig, who is another character in the show, Ryoga, who while trying to track down Ranma because he considers Ranma his rival, accidentally fell into the cursed spring of the drowned pig. So now he gets turned into a cute little pot-bellied pig whenever he gets wet. And comedy ensues, as well as a lot of fighting. A lot of the show is about...
Yeah, most of it's fighting, but like you said, on rom-coms, this is mainly action-based. The romance is mainly a side plot.
Mm-hmm.
But it is definitely clear that when they're introducing that certain plot.
Yes. So here's a word of advice from Timuni. Stay clear of water in Asia. Certainly, depending on which country you're in, don't drink it out of the tap.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know when you jumped in if you saw the other shows that I was recommending earlier. If you're not, let me just move back to a couple of slides. Have you watched any of these? Some of them you may have watched while I was watching. Because
well, yeah, I know. Well, I know Dress Up My Darling because you watch it.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I would say good plot. I'd just say maybe take a step back off the fan service on that one.
Here's a term for those of you who don't know. Fan service is anytime they're showing TNA, gratuitous boobs or jiggliness on screen, and they call that term for that in anime is called fan service, and because many of the fans are typically adolescent males, so it's kind of equivalent to clickbait in a way. But in this case, the fan service comes from the fact that the main character is kind of stacked. She's the hot girl in high school, but she's a nerd. She likes dressing up as
She
hot.
likes cosplaying as certain characters that she likes,
that show a lot of skin. Then that's her, by the way, in the thumbnail for this show, dressed up as in a bunny outfit. All right, so here's another one that I really like. I don't know if you watch this or not.
Me?
Sock one, yeah.
Oh,
Too Many Losing Heroines.
I haven't watched it. Mainly, I looked at it like while I was like going across the room, getting some food because I'm hungry, and I see it time to time. I think it's about like reincarnated stuff, right?
No, that's another one. But this one
okay.
is strictly
I don't know.
This one's strictly a rom-com about it's really about these 3 or 4 girls and their romantic drama, and the main character is the guy there who doesn't want to get involved, but he gets dragged into.
That one, the one that you were reading the manga of.
Yeah. I'm sure this may or may not have any interest in you, but I would advise that these are actually pretty good stories to read up because you're getting into high school soon, and you're going to be dealing with.
Well, it's interesting plot. I just don't really like them that much since I'm more into action based.
Absolutely.
or it's just usually romance animes. They're mainly boring unless they have another side trope onto it.
Okay, fair enough. You've seen Love is War?
Seen you watch it, yeah.
Okay. I think it's pretty funny.
I watched like a few, maybe like one episode. Then I went back to my room.
Okay, so not your favorite, but I think it's actually pretty funny. You anyway, try to catch another episode. It's the comedy's really good, and we already talked about Ranma half. So there we go. Those are like my top 4 or 5 picks for if you want to get into rom-com anime, because as I was saying earlier, the rom-com animes are pretty much strictly anime because there's no Western equivalent to that I can think of.
Well, technically there are. It's just they're not exactly good in plot, or I would say how they express it.
How can you name a couple?
Well, like I can't name them, but the thing is, I would say in animation, yes, there are a lot of rom-com romance animes. Well, not romance animes, but romance animations.
Well, like which one? You can't think of any. I can't think of any TV shows that I've.
Well, it's because
watched.
we don't watch. It's because we don't watch it. It's just like a thing that. It's just a thing, but like there's many things. But
okay, if you come across any like on YouTube or thumbnails of them, send them my way because
it's just not
I can't think of any.
It's just Western ones usually don't have good plot, or I would say express as much emotion as rom-com animes, because it's easier to express it in animation than doing it in reality. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Tim has some and Portia Speecher have some suggestions. Try Robotech, yeah, or the original Macross.
Shut up.
Those are great shows that I watched growing up. Voltron, Pat Labor.
Oh.
Yeah, great stuff.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah. And TJ says, Fritz the Cat. Well, I don't know if that would be technically a rom-com. It was just more like raunchy. That would be like Western hentai to me. I've seen Fritz the Cat, by the way. Tomas, don't
Oh.
watch Fritz the Cat. It's an adult cartoon that came
Oh.
out in the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I searched it up.
you're a little too young for that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, oh gosh. Okay, it's already 4 o'clock. I've burned through the hour gushing about my favorite rom-coms and animes. I think it's about time
Oh
we'll
yeah.
wrap this up. Oh,
Yeah.
did you
Solo
want to say
Leveling.
something?
Someone, Tim Mooney commented Solo Leveling. Yeah, it's really popular in the like popularity right now, as such as the some animes aren't exactly action, but are fairly interesting. I would say, but they're really popular. So, for example, Blue Lock that has like gone really popular like since last year.
Oh yeah.
Like,
So we should have a show where you talk about the popular animes because here's the thing: Blue Lock is about
a soccer guy who wants to like improve in his skills,
mhm.
and he gets recruited into this thing, and he I wouldn't
Yeah,
say cross some the lines, but like he just gets better and better, and he's really compassionate about what he's doing.
yeah. So you don't see that in like Western animated
I
shows.
mean, I did start watching a boxing anime.
Yeah,
I
saw a
forgot
little
I
bit of
forgot what
that.
it's called, but like it was fairly interesting. Sports animes can be good if you do it right.
Yeah,
Because sometimes sport animes are just simple and bland, and then there's some of them that actually have good plot, or at least have parts of the plot that have special parts in it that makes it fairly interesting.
yeah, and that's one of the things I just want to point. I know we're stretching out the time here. We should revisit this. But what's great about anime is they cover a lot of genres that just aren't covered in Western animated shows, Western cartoons, or even TV shows for that matter. For example, we were just talking about sports. Blue Lock is about soccer. There's one of your other favorite ones is about a volleyball team. There's
Oh yeah, haiku,
basketball,
haiku,
baseball,
haiku. But I think
golf, even.
yeah,
Can you believe that? A show about golf. There's a couple of animes, really good animes about golf. You don't see that in Western animated TV series, much less just regular TV series about golf. So yeah, I think it's great.
yeah.
Uh,
There's
oh, Girls und Panzer. That came up recently because we couldn't find Girls in Panzer streaming. Apparently, it's moved from Crunchyroll over to High Dive now. You can't you have to yet subscribe to yet another channel to get that. But also, great show. Who doesn't like well drawn tanks and cute girls? Let me just say, two great things that I loved when I was a teenage boy is cute girls and tanks.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, let's get back to the show and wrap things up. Is that okay with you, Sakwan?
Yeah, for sure. I'm
Okay.
sorry I couldn't get here earlier.
No
It
worries.
took me a while to get over here.
Okay, so let's um let's bring up our contest. Here's the final clue on the contest. In 2017, Sony purchased this streaming company and merged it with Funimation to create the largest distributor of anime in the US and possibly the world. So, this company, which again, we're wrapping up the different clues on them, was named after a type of sushi roll, sushi. And if you know what this company is, you can type a hashtag on the right, and you will be automatically entered into the contest. So far, we've got 4 entries, so that's more than enough to make it a competition.
I know it, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay, so if you know what this company is, be sure to put in a hashtag on the right, and we're going to do the drawing right now. But before we do, so Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy says, "Did you send away the stuff from the LAX video?" Yes, I did. If you did not get it, please email me and let me know, and I'll see if I can dig up if I have another copy of that. sometimes some of the stuff that I send apparently has gotten chewed up by the U.S. mail service. As I forget, was it Tim Mooney who said that his Toadstool Cafe knife almost didn't get to him because the envelope got mashed through the shredding machine, or the not the shredding machine, the postal machinery, and so it's possible that you didn't get yours. But if you didn't, I'll see if I can dig up a replacement for it um, for your prize. But I did send out the prizes from the LAX show. For those of you who don't know, I did a live show from LAX. And also want to point out before we do the drawing, I'll bring that up in a second. This month, I'm also giving away a 60 power scope on my website. So be sure to check out, and I'll pull up a link right now. Here's the link to win this TPO 60 power scope. And you could always find out about my contest at moondogindustries.com/contests. And I'll post a link to that right now as well. And let me pull up share screen for the giveaway. All right. So this is the word we're looking for, the mystery brand, Crunchyroll, which for those of you who don't know is the largest streaming service for anime. You can go to crunchyroll.com and see their videos there, or if you have Amazon Prime, you also get access to a bunch of Crunchyroll videos if you search up anime there. I think you also get access to some high dive content as well, but you can get full seasons of Crunchyroll material, and some of them, a lot of them are dubbed in English. So for those of you who don't want to read subtitles, then we can go to a whole nother debate as to which is better, the subs or dubs. What do you like, Tomas? Subs or dubs?
Oh, I think I like sub better. I would say I like sub better since it's the original and it's expresses more emotion than, because when they dub it, they have to get their own words synchronized with the mouth.
Yeah, and plus sometimes the actors, the English speaking actors, the American actors that they get aren't always the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Voice actors. But anyway, so let's let me give me a countdown. Count out of like 3, 2, 1 or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I will hit the draw button to see who wins. Go ahead.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw.
All right.
And
Tim Mooney. All right, so that's the first one. Go ahead and let me know. Just tell me, and I'll press the button to draw the next winner.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Draw again.
Pick. Congratulations. All right, and the final winner?
3, 2, 1. Draw.
Portia or Vadim? Who's it going to be? Portia. All right.
But what's the prize?
It's going to be the Evic Stars and Stripe patch and a Moondog decal.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's free.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, get a chance to win. Getting back to the contests that are going on right now, get a chance to win this 60 power scope, which is a pretty high power scope. And also, if you're interested in this scope, I am also giving away the 40 power version of the scope in the DC fundraiser that I am organizing for your school. Yeah, you can find this information about this scope on my fundraising page, which is called the yard sale page on my website, moondogindustries.com/yard sale. you could get this scope for donating to the DC trip for the 7th and 8th grade middle school class to Washington, D.C. for their class trip. And right now, you could get this the 40 power TPO scope. I think I'm listing it for less than 150. So if you donate $150 to the St. Anne's School, send a screenshot that you've made your donation, and you win this scope. And I think, and I'm posting up new products, including right now a night vision clip-on for night vision camera clip-on that you can clip on to any scope or use it as a monocular. So,
Just asking.
Mm-hmm.
So how, like, the 150 thing, you get a scope, right?
Yeah.
What if like 2 people do that? Will it be like who did it first, or will it be like a raffle?
It'll be who did it first, but I'll offer the whoever, if somebody just happened to do it at the same time, I'll yank off as soon as somebody puts a donation, and I'll yank off what's ever there on the website so that they can't bid on something that's already been claimed. But if for chance somebody does it both at the same time, I'll give the second person the opportunity to either to pick something else that's coming up, or if they choose to, I suppose they could rescind their offer. But in any case, you won't be out any money if you don't get what you want. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And one more thing before we jump off from the show. For everybody who won the contest today, be sure to put in hashtag Crunchyroll on your email. Send it over to me at moondogairsoft@gmail.com, and I'll post a link to that right now. So send me a hashtag Crunchyroll subject line email to moondogairsoft@gmail.com, and include your name and your shipping address for your decal and patch. And also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Everybody out there who's watching this, it really does make a difference in terms of getting more folks to see this live show as well as my channel. Hitting that like button just tells the algorithm that more people like you are interested in this content. And of course, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And before we jump off, just want to remind everybody, tomorrow is September 11th, so don't forget. There's I wanted to share this video with you from my trip to New York earlier this year. Hey. All right, folks. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week for our next live stream, and hopefully we'll have another live guest talking about another topic in animation. So thanks again for watching. Thanks to Sock1 for joining us last minute.
Yeah, see y'all.
That. All right, folks. See ya. God bless.
See y'all.
Hey, I'd like to know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment or chat with me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, MeWe, Instagram, or Locals. And if you want to see all of my videos, go to moondogindustries.com.